Fake families crossing the border. How big of a problem is it? DNA testing may give the answer. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Donald Trump's election may have prompted some Americans to want to move to Canada, but it hasn't stopped much larger numbers of people from Latin America from wanting to move to the United States. In fact, more than 1,000 people attempt to illegally cross the U.S.-Mexico border every day. The number of illegal border crossers has been declining for many years, but it started to go back up again since the beginning of 2019. But there's a difference now in terms of who is trying to enter illegally. Instead of mainly single men and women, there are more families crossing the border than ever before. The problem is, some of those families are not actually families. Won't somebody think of the children? According to CNN, currently the government can't hold migrant children in detention for more than 20 days, often leading to the release of families, or groups posing as families. But while releasing families with children is probably a well-intentioned policy, some bad people are taking advantage. In this case, human smugglers are using children as pawns.
The smugglers are more active than ever before at advertising how to come into this country with a child. We've broken up so-called child recycling rings, if you can believe it, in the last couple months, which is where smugglers kidnap a child, they give it to an adult to cross the border, present themselves as a family. Once they get in, because as you know, we can only hold families for 20 days, they send the child back and bring the child back with another family.
In one case, a man paid $130 to rent a young boy to cross the border. There was another case of a Guatemalan woman who said she had recycled children 13 times for payments of $1,500 a child. In yet another case, a Honduran man was caught with a 6-month-old baby that wasn't his child. In cases where a minor is caught with an adult who is not their parent, the child is given to the Department of Health and Human Services, who will either try to contact their real parents or find a sponsor to take the child. The adults are prosecuted by the Department of Justice for crimes including human trafficking, child exploitation, and alien smuggling. I mean, come on. How hard is it to figure out that this family smuggled in an alien? There are other cases where someone will claim to be 16 or 17, but it turns out they're actually 21, 22, 23 years old. Adults pretending to be kids? I've never heard of such a thing. Now obviously, anything to do with children really riles people up, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. In fact, there's even more to this picture than meets the eye. Even though this little girl became quite literally the poster child for child separation at the border, she was never actually separated from her mother. In fact, she had been dragged across the border unbeknownst to and against the wishes of her father back in Honduras. Sadly, carrying a child with you across the border has for some become an entry ticket to the United States. How big is this problem? According to the Department of Homeland Security, within a 5-month period, there was a 315% increase in the number of fake families crossing the border. And according to ICE, between mid-April and May 10th, agents interviewed 562 family units. 95 fraudulent families were identified, in addition to more than 176 fraudulent documents or claims. Border Patrol has been trying several things to get a handle on the issue. A CNN exclusive discovered U.S. Border Patrol has been fingerprinting children 14 years old and younger because of child trafficking concerns. Now they're trying DNA testing. First, authorities drill into the child's skull and, I'm just kidding, they use a cheek swab and it's entirely voluntary. Results are delivered in about 90 minutes, so it's a quick way to scientifically establish if a family is real. But just because a family isn't related doesn't mean they're not a real family. I've been watching a lot of ALF lately. The DNA program was tested in El Paso and Rio Grande Valley, Texas. In that pilot program, it revealed a 30% rate of fraud. The pilot program has concluded and the Department of Homeland Security is considering how to proceed. So, what do you think of fake families crossing the border? And what's the best way to help the children being used as pawns? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And remember, YouTube is demonetizing loads of channels, and America Uncovered is no exception. That's why we rely on your support on Patreon. Help us to continue uncovering America by contributing on patreon.com/America Uncovered. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.